So if you want to play with data, like if you want to manipulate the data, you need some container to store the data. So that container is called as a variable. Okay. Can you please share? Okay. Yeah. So we have total 3 types of variables within Java. That is the local variable. The second one is a static variable, and the third one is an instance variable. So local variables are declared inside the body of the method. Okay. So you have a class, and within the class you have methods. So if you're declaring a variable within your method, it is called as a local variable. And if you're declaring inside the class but outside the body of the method, that is called an instance variable. And if the variable is marked as static, it is you're going to call it as a static variable. So static variable cannot be local, meaning you cannot use a static variable inside. You cannot declare the static variable inside your method. Okay. So this is like once you install your Eclipse IDE, you'll get this type of screen. Okay. In this you can create your classes, and you can create your methods also. So let's say now we want to add just two numbers. So to add two numbers, your Java at least program should know where to store that numbers. So for that, you need the variable. So how do you declare a variable in Java is this one: the data type, the variable name, and the value. This is the syntax. Okay, suppose if you want to declare a variable, say a, and the value is 10. So 10 means it's an integer. So um, into data type, this is the variable name, which is equal to 10. So with this piece of line, you're telling Java to allocate a variable in the heap. Heap is the memory, your actual program memory. So when you're declaring any variable, keep in mind that you are allocating some space in the variable in the heap memory. Okay. So int b equal to 20. Okay. So what are these called? These are called as instance variables because you're writing them inside the class. Okay. So this is a class and you're writing inside the class. These are called as instance variables. Okay. Now let's say I'm writing a method. So what is a class and what is a method? Like we are going to cover them in our OOPS concepts because Java is object-oriented programming, right? So in those OOPS concepts only, we are going to cover what is a class, what is a method. Okay, so these are called as instance variables. And let's say I write a method, two numbers. Okay, now int c equal to 10 and int d equal to 20. Okay, return c plus d. Now, if you see, this is a class, this is a method, and I'm declaring a variable inside the method. So these are called as local variables. Okay, if you're defining a variable which is inside the class, it is called as instance variable, and if you're defining inside the method, it is called as a local variable. And if you add a static keyword to it, this is called as a static variable. Okay, so here you're getting an error because I already initialized a variable called a, which is an instance variable, and I'm again initializing a static variable. So this is called as like we are duplicating a variable. So this is not allowed. If you put it as p, then this is called as a static variable. P is called the static variable. A and B are called instance variables. C and D are called the local variables. Three types of variables. Got it? I take that silence as yes. Okay. So whenever you want to run any method, whenever you want to run, just a minute, I have, yes, okay, cool. Okay. Whenever you want to run a Java application, like a simple Java application, you need to have a main method. So public static void main, this is called as the main method. So your main method should always be a static and a void. Public static void are monetary keywords for a main method. So let's say I don't have my main method here. Just a minute. Okay. So if some like this piece of code will not execute now. Okay. Whatever is in color, this will be executed. If I just do a right click here and click on run as, I won't get any configurations to run. So it is directly asking me to run on server. But if I have a main method, and if I right click and if I want to run it, then you'll get an option called as Java application. Okay, so this states that if you want to run a simple Java application, you need to have a main method. Without the main method, you cannot run it as a Java application. Getting it? Okay, done. So what we're doing here, we're just declaring a x variable value as 10, y variable value as 30, and float f equal to x. Okay, so and we're just printing them. So in your C, it is printf, and if it is in Python, it is print, but in Java, it is system.out.println. Okay, so if you want to print something in Java, you can simply you all have your Eclipse IDE installed, so you can simply type syso. This is called as a sysout. Control space. That's it. Control space is a keyboard shortcut for all your what you call method autofilling. Control plus space. Okay. So I'll share the source codes. Okay. So public static void main string open close args. So instead of you typing this whole line, what you can do is you can again use the Eclipse. You can again use the Eclipse integer keywords. You can just type in main and use a control space. Control space, you'll get the main method there. Hit enter, it will automatically populate for you. Okay, so all these are called your Eclipse shortcuts. These are very much important, so that tomorrow when you're just running your codes, right, it will be easy for you. Like instead of you memorizing the whole method signatures and everything, you can use the keyboard shortcuts. So I just simply click on run as Java application and get the output. So variable widening plus f. What is f? F is set to x. What is x value? 10. So it is 10. If it is integer, it is 10 value. It is 10. If it is float is a decimal point. So it is coming as a 10.0. So we are going to cover data types also today. So you'll understand why we're getting 10.0 here. X plus y is 40, and add method. You're going to call the method add. This that is 20. 10. Understood till here? Just the variable usage. Like the name depends on where we declare the variable. If you're declaring it inside the class, it is instance. Inside the method, it is local. Now, if you put a simple static keyword there, it is called the static variable. Okay. Okay. The next comes the data types. So if you want to play with data, difference between instance variable and a local variable. Okay. Ashita, you got the difference, right?
Yeah.
Done. Okay. Is my meeting chat window open? Like, is it coming as a screen share? That's okay. No, okay. Yeah. So next comes the data types. So what are data types? Now, like if you want to store, if you want to just store the data, if you want to store some value, you need a variable. So you also need to specify the variable which type of data it is storing. So it can be like, if you want to store a name, it is a string data type. If you want to store a value, like store like, let's say if you want to store your age, it is an integer. Okay, if you want to store, let's say, if you want to store the price of a fuel, it can be in like just your fuel prices. It can be 100.16 or 99 point something. So if you want to store decimal values, you use some data type called float. So all these are called data types. Data types will define which type of value you're going to store to that variable. Okay, so there are two different data types in Java. One is the primitive data type, and the other one is the non-primitive data type. So primitive data type can include boolean, char, byte, short, int, long, float, and double. So when you're doing the real hands-on, we'll get to know their usage also. And the remaining other things, classes, interface, array, strings, everything will come under non-primitive data types. So this is a simple image, like you'll get to know all the data types which are used within our Java within this. So you have the primitive data types. In primitive, you have Boolean. So Boolean will return only true or false. So it's only a single data type. If you go to numeric data type, you have two more. One is the character and one is the integral. So char can store only 2 bytes of data. That's why it is again it is again taken as a single one. The char. Now, if you go to integral, you have again two types. One is the integer data type, one is the floating data type. So byte, short, int, and long, all these will store integer data types only. Float and double will store the floating data types, which contains decimals. So this complete block will come under primitive data type, and remaining all string, arrays, your classes, everything will come under the non-primitive data types. So So when you're writing the actual piece of code, then you'll get to know the non-primitive data types. And these are their sizes. So you also need to know, like suppose you have a value and you need to know which type of data type you are going to use. Because if you want to store a single, like if you want to store a value of 10 and if you're declaring it as long, that means you're going to store this amount of data in the heap, which is obviously waste of the memory. So you need to know how much amount of data we are going to store within the data type. Okay, for Boolean it is 1 bit, char is 2 byte, byte is 1 byte, short is 2 bytes, int is 4 bytes, long is 8 bytes, float is 4 bytes, and double is 8 bytes. This is the default. This is the default size which is allocated in the heap memory. Okay. Now let's cover one by one the Boolean data type. So Boolean data type is used to store only two possible values. So if like you have this Boolean x equal true. This is how you declare a Boolean data type. So here x is called the variable. X is called the variable. Boolean is called the data type, and true is called the value. So Boolean can hold only true or false. You cannot assign any integer data type for that. Okay. The next comes the byte data type. So byte comes under the primitive data type. It is an 8-bit two complement integer. So if you want to assign values ranging from -128 to 127, then you can use the byte data type. So the minimum value which can be assigned is -128. The maximum value which can be assigned is 127. So if you're not assigning any value, meaning if you just type byte byte space p and end it with a semicolon, then the default value of p is 0. Okay. The next one is the short data type. So it is a 16-bit to 16-bit signed to complement integer. So it ranges from -32,768 to 32,767. This is the minimum value and this is the maximum value, and the default is 0. So if you want to declare short data a value of short data type, this is the declaration: short keyword space and the variable name and the value. Again, if you don't declare the value, the default value is 0. Next comes the int. So this is a 32-bit signed to complements integer. If you want to store values ranging from minus 2 power 31 to 2 power 31 minus 1, then you're going to use the int data type. Okay, it's again the same. The minimum value, the maximum value, the default is 0. So long is minus 2 power 63 to 2 power 63 minus 1. So you need not memorize these values. This is just for our reference, okay? So let me take you to the code. Data types. So we have the byte, short, int, long, float, double, char. So how do you declare them? If it is short, you just put short x equal to 10. So the value of x is 10. Byte p equal to 10. Float y equal to 9. This is not required. Oh, it's an explicit conversion. Okay. Then double float and double are floating types in the integer data type. That's why we have the decimal values here. Okay. So char, if you are using a char data type, yeah, it is a 2 byte data type. So yeah, you can store only a single char here, like A, B, C. If you want to store those type of data, simply use the char keyword. This is the Boolean keyword, Boolean B equal to false. So if you want to assign some other value other than true or false, it throws an error. Okay. So like now you'll get to know why we are using Eclipse IDE also, because these IDs are they are so powerful that they'll also give you suggestions. What type of value to use? Why are we getting the error? What could be the error? When and where there could be an exception thrown? So all those will be caught by your IDs if you write in proper logical way. Okay. Just a minute. Okay, so we completed the variables and the data types, and for all your like for all the operations which are going to do on the data, we use something called as operators. So what are they? They are just the symbols to perform specific operations. So you have unary operator, arithmetic operator, the shifting operators, the relational operators, bitwise operators, logical, ternary, and assignment operators. So we are going to discuss them. So what are unary operators? So these operators will require only one operand. One operand meaning, let's say, if you want to add two numbers, you require two operand. You require two variables and one operand. So similarly, if you want to perform, like you have a variable called x, and if you want to increment the value of x with 1, or if you want to decrement the value of x with 1, For those kind of operations, you use the unary operators. Okay, let me show you an example. Okay, let's say we have so this is x is called the variable, int is the data type, and we are assigning a value of 10 here. Okay, and I'm under the main method. So if I run this application as a Java application, I'll get my output here. So my value is 10 and x plus plus. So why am I getting 10 here? It should be 11, right? Just x equal to 10. Let me check this. Okay. So these are called your actually the value should be x plus plus means you need to first increment you take the variable of x and then increment it by 1. So your answer should be 11 here. Okay. The next is plus plus x, meaning take the x value, increment this value, and then do the addition. So it would be 11 plus 1 12. Okay. And then next you have x minus minus. So your current x value is, I'm not assigning it, so your current x value is 12, and then minus minus, so 12 minus 1 is 11, then you get 11 here. Okay. This is somewhere this is behaving strange for me. Okay, so one type of using is x plus 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 x, or x minus minus, or minus minus x. This is one way of using them, and you have another way. You can, and the next way is you can increment the values and then perform additions also here. So this way. So it should be 10. This is correct actually. Yeah. So a plus plus 10 plus 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 a. It would be after incrementing this value is 11. 11 plus 1 again. It'll be 12. So 10 plus 12 is 22. Similarly, b plus 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 b plus plus. So it would be again 10 plus 11 21. So this is the second way of using the unary operators. This is going to be the third way. So now we're declaring P, Q, C, and D. Okay, C and D are Boolean values, and P, Q are your normal Lagging variables. Okay, so this is called the tilde symbol. Tilde, T-I-L-D, tilde. Okay, this is called the tilde symbol. So tilde of P is minus of the total positive value starting from the 0. So what is your positive value? 11. So minus of total positive would be minus 11. Okay. Now, if you take a tilde of Q, it would be tilde of minus 10. That is positive of the total minus. So minus 10 plus 1, it would be minus 9. it would be -9, and then you give the positive of that -9, that is 9. And this is called the negation. Okay, let me put a comment here also. This is called the tilde. The symbol is called the tilde, okay? And it's called the negation symbol, meaning the value of C is false. So it is true. So if I put a negation there, it will change the value from true to false. Similarly, the value of D is false, and if I put a negation here, it will change to true. Let me print this. It is. So minus of the total positive value. Okay, -10 minus 1 is -11, and -10 plus 1 is plus 1, and the positive of the total minus is 9. C is true, and if I negate it, I'm going to get it as false. D is true, and D is false. If I negate it, I'm going to get it as true. Okay. Any doubts still here? Okay, I see a message. Post increment, so we'll get 10 only, right? Ashwita, which line are you talking about?
I think you already clarified those things.
Okay, done. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not checking my messages. Okay. Okay. So the next comes the arithmetic operators. Any doubts still here? Sorry. Okay, cool. So the next comes the arithmetic operators. So to perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, and divisions, you use these basic arithmetic operators. So I'm just declaring two variables A and B, and if I do a addition, if I do a minus, I'm going to get the respective values. Okay. So 10 plus 5, 10 minus 5. This is called the multiplication. This is called the division. Division will always return with the remainder. Sorry. Oh yeah, remainder. Returns the remainder, and this is called the modulo symbol. It will return. Sorry, sir, my mistake. Quotient rate 5, 10, 2, 0. Yeah, this will return the remainder. Okay, so modulo, if you do a 10 by 5, it is your remainder is 0. If you do a 10 by 5, the quotient is 2. So if you're doing a division, it will return the quotient for you. If you're doing a modulo, it will return the remainder for you. So these are basic arithmetic operations, plus my like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulo division. So these are pretty straightforward. Okay, and the next comes your logical operators. In the interest of time, just I'm going a bit fast. Please stop me if there are any issues. Okay. So we are declaring three variables here, A, B, C, and let's take this as a condition. So what do you mean by logical? You know the logical operators, right? The AND operator, the OR operators, meaning your basic logic operations, and OR. So uh, the first condition says that A is less than B. So 10 is less than 5. This is a false condition, and you're adding it. This is and A less than C. So 10 is less than 20, which is a true. So false and true. It is a false. This is a basic logical operations. So this will return false here. Next, similarly, it's again the same. This is a bitwise operation. False and a false. The next comes your logical OR operation. Okay, so OR operation is this symbol is called the ampersand. This is called the ampersand. And this is called the pipe. Pipe symbol is just visible on top of your enter button. Just hit shift and pipe. You'll get this pipe symbol. Okay, so to perform your OR operations, you use your pipe symbol. Okay, so the logical operator doesn't check the second condition if the first condition is true. If it checks the second condition only if the first one is false. So the difference between this logical and bitwise is this one. So if you're using a logical operator, this will not check if your second if the second if the first condition is true, it will not check the second condition. But if you're using a single operator, this is called the bitwise operator. Okay, so this will check the second condition only if this is false. So if a less than b is false, only then it will check this. Okay, that is the difference between your logical operator and a bitwise operator. So difference is just this one. Like if you're putting a single ampersand, it is bitwise. If you're putting double ampersand, it is logical. So now let's take this condition. A is 10, b is 5, c is 20. A greater than b. So obviously 10 is greater than b. So this is a true. Or and a less than c. A is obviously less than c. It is true. True and true. True. Okay. True or true. Doesn't check if the first condition is true. Now the logical operator doesn't check the second condition if the first condition is true. If a is less than b, then it doesn't check the second condition. Okay. Similarly, now if a is greater than b, and again it's the same operator. So this is a logical operator, and this is a bitwise operator. So a is less than b, this is true. A is greater than b, this is true, and a is less than c, this is true. So you are going to get a true. Okay. So we covered the unary operator, the arithmetic operator, and the logical operators. Next comes your ternary operator. Okay. So what is a ternary operator? It is an operator which is used as a one-line replacement for your if-else condition. Okay. So I'm going to explain you. We're declaring two variables, a equal to 2 and b equal to 5, and we're declaring the third variable, which is min, and and this is the condition. If a is less than b, assign a, else b. Okay. So this is a condition. Okay. Check the condition. If it is yes, put the yes value. Else put the no value. This is the meaning. How do you write it in a classic coding example? You just put if. Let me show you this. So if condition do something, else do something. This is how you write a if else condition. But now, because by the use of this ternary operator, you're writing it in a single line. This is the condition, this is your s value, and this is your no value. So a is less than b, so 2 is less than 5. So you will simply get the value as 2. Okay, this is called the ternary operator. This is very important. So this makes your code like this is a robust way of handling it. Tomorrow, if you're going to handle your null pointer exceptions, like null pointer meaning like if you want to check your value against a null and then assign the value, you can simply use this condition. Okay, just put the condition as put it as null check. If it is null, put one value. If it's not null, then again go and take the actual value. So this is also an important operator. And next comes your assignment operator. Okay, So it is just assigning a value, assigning the value of the on the right to the left, that is in between your equal to symbol. So whatever is on the right of your equal to, that is your right value, and left of your equal to is your actual variable. So let's say int a equal to 10 and b equal to 20. If a plus equal to 4, that means what does this mean? A equal to a plus 4. Okay, assigning a value. So your first, how can I tell? Like, is it clear? Like I'm just talking like a simple sense. Like if a plus equal to 4 means a equal to a plus 4. That's the meaning. B minus equal to 4 means b equal to b minus 4. Just assigning the value based on the operand. So instead of you writing a equal to a plus 4, instead of writing this line of code, you can simply replace this line as a plus equal to 4. So this this line is equivalent to the previous line. Let me put it equivalent to equal to a plus 4. Okay. Put in 16. 10 plus 4 and 20 minus 4. So these are all your operators: unary, arithmetic, logical, ternary, and your assignment operators. Okay. Any doubts still here? If not, yeah, let's go to the keywords. So Java uses keywords. So Java, like those keywords are called as reserved keywords, meaning you cannot assign, you cannot have a variable with those reserved keywords. Okay, so suppose if now let's say int x equal to 10. Okay, I have a variable called x. I'm assigning it to 10. Now if I want to assign a value of 10 to a variable name called as class, it doesn't allow me, because class is a reserved keyword. Okay, so those keywords are here. So I'm going to share this PPT with you all. It's a long list. So we have almost 48 keywords within our within this presentation. Okay, so you have the this is the keyword name: abstract, boolean, break, byte, case, catch, char, and this is your um, the normal definition of the keyword. So you cannot have these keywords as variable names or method names. Okay, these keywords are explicitly used by Java. So if you're declaring something with let's say, if I'm going to give one more example. Boolean is a data type, and if you want to again declare it with a Boolean variable equal to true, it throws an error again. You can put some value as, you can put any other variable name or any other method name other than the list of keywords which I have mentioned here. Okay, it's a long list. It's a 48 keyword long list. Since I'm going to share this PPT with all of you, so I'm not going through each and every one of the keyword. But their main, but the intention of this keyword is to not to use them as your variable names, because they are reserved. So Java is reserving those keywords for you. So they're not to be used anywhere. Okay, so you have 48 of them. Any doubts still here? No, okay, cool. So next comes our control statements. So this is going to be our last for today. So as you know, the Java compiler will always execute from top to bottom, meaning if you have a 10 lines of code and the execution starts from the first line, it goes to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, up till 10. So it comes from top to bottom. So to alter that flow, to alter the code flow from like your code flow is going from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. If you want to alter this flow, and if you want to like let's say execute again line number 2, then line number 4, then line number 5. So to alter this flow, you need a control statement. Okay, those statements are called as control statements, which are altering the flow of your code. So come on, what's happening? So you can have three types of control statements. One is the decision making, one is the loop statements, and one is a jump statement. So three types of statements. So if you're going to talk about decision making statements, you have if else statement and a switch statement. So if this condition, do something, else do something. So that's you're making a decision out of it. Switch also works as the same way. You're giving a input, switch some keyword, and you write a case. I'm going to show you in like in your Java code also. So then comes the loop statements: do while loop, for loop, and for each loop, and the jump statements: break and continue statement. Okay. Else. So if you the syntax for your if else condition is if open and close it in a small bracket. This is called your condition, and then open a flower braces. That is your method. Mm, yeah, it is greater than 20 in South. Let's take this piece of code. Okay, let's put it is greater than or equal to 20. Okay, so simple. If some condition, do something, else do something. This is simple if statement. So you can also hover on your if keyword. Your Eclipse will show you the documentation out of it. Yeah, if condition, do something, else do something. Now there can be cases where you can have a multiple if else statement. Okay, it's not if else if, it is a multiple if else. Let's say if age is less than 19, then so even if it is less than 19, if the age is greater than or equal to 13, put it as teenage, else put it as a child. So you can use this type of if else statements if you want to if you want to filter more on the condition itself. So what is the condition? Your condition is age is less than or equal to 19. So if you want more filtration, then use a if and if, not else if. Okay, if and if. So the syntax would be if expression 2 and something. So if expression 2 is correct, then simply print this. Okay, if the inner expression is correct, print this. If the whole thing is false, print the last thing. So let me explain here itself. If age is less than or equal to 19, if this is true, it must print it as a child. Okay. If age is greater than 19, then simply it will skip the whole loop. It will print child. It will print adult. So now I want to filter more, like even though he's a child, I want to filter between child and teenage. So add one more if condition. If age is greater than or equal to 13, So this is my second condition. If this is true, print this teenage. Else print this. Getting my point? Let's say my age is 22. Okay. Now this condition will pass. This condition will not pass because 22 is not less than 19. So it will directly skip the whole loop and it will print adult for me. This is the first case. Now, if you put it as 18, this condition is true. So it will go inside the loop. Now it will check for this condition. If age is greater than or equal to 13, 18 is obviously greater than 13. So this will be printed, teenage. Now, if I give the age as 12, 12 less than or equal to 19. So this is false. So 12 is less than 19. So this is true. It goes inside. 12 is greater than or equal to 13. So this is false. So it will skip this loop. Just double click on the bracket. It will skip this loop and it will go to the else part of the if condition. Child. You'll get a child as the output. Any doubt still here? It's not the if else condition. It is if under if. This is most important when you're writing your condition statements, right? If you want to have more control over it, you can have this type of statements. You can write this in a different way also. If age greater than or equal to, like if age is less than or equal to 13, print this. Else if it is 19, print this. Else if it is 20, print this. So you can use if else if. But this is like you can use this as a more robust way. Okay, understood? Let me take a look at the chat window. Okay, done. The next comes your else if block. Let me comment about this. I'll just complete this block and I'm going to end the call. Okay, just for the interest of time. Okay, so let's I'll not take the scanner and I'll just put it as mark equal to 90.
Remove that condition in the else.
Yeah. Okay, so whatever marks I give it here, I'm just going to compare it with the condition. If so and so, if this condition is passing, print this. Else if, print this. Else if, print this. Else if, print this. So this is a simple if else statement. Okay. So like this is quite simple. That's why I just ran it over. Any doubts still here? I'm going to push this to our GitHub account, and I'm going to share the link also so that you can have it accessible there. Any doubts still here? Okay. So yeah, we are going to conclude the session today now. And tomorrow we're going to discuss on the further topics. Okay.
So, hi everyone. So for your reference, I am pasting a link in the chat box. So please go through this link so that you will have a better idea about the basics of Java and more in-depth info about all the operators and all the basics that we have covered today. So please go through this link and have a look on it.
Done. Perfect. Thank you all and have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.